Hi, this is Happy Bird from happybirdsglitternest.blogspot.com, and today I'm going to show you how to make these extremely simple little stacked lace trim snowflakes. And it's very inexpensive too. You'll be surprised at just how inexpensive it is. And I'll talk more about that a little bit later on in the video. And I just used the flat back acrylic rhinestones. I hot glued them on. And that was pretty much it. It was just a matter of trimming and hot gluing. And so I'll show you how we did this, but before we get started, I'm asking that you please visit my friend Craftie's YouTube channel. She has some wonderful things on there. And I will be sure to put Craftie's link in the Show More drop-down bar as well. And also my friend Carol Tolson. She has a lovely channel called Refunction Crafts. She's also on Etsy, and I'll put Carol's link below as well. So with that said, let's move forward. Okay, so I bought a whole yard of these little flowers here, and they are 9 centimeters across. Now these were $1.79 plus 49-cent shipping. And I got a total of 9 of them on this 1 yard. And I just cut them apart. Now I will tell you that not all of them came perfectly centered, this part. Sometimes you will find that it's a little offset, but it doesn't bother me because they're so pretty and inexpensive. So all I did was I just took a little pair of wire cutters, because they're only attached with a little piece of metal like that. See, it's still stuck in there. And if you take those wire cutters and snip off the pearl, then the flower comes apart, and then you can just hot glue this part of the flower into the center where you want. And you can also hot glue the pearl back if you want to use the pearl. If not, then just leave it off, and you'll be able to glue any center that you want in here. Now I do have a couple of sellers that I really like. The seller that I bought this from is So Just Do It on eBay, and it took about 24 days for me to receive this once I placed my order. Now I'm not saying it's going to be the same for you. I'm just saying that's how long it took for me. And I did order this off season. It's, not the Christmas season yet. So with that said, you can also search for your own little flowers. I have smaller ones here that make a nice base to put any kind of little embellishment on. And this is an example, like that. I would definitely use E6000 with a touch of hot glue when putting this on, like that, so it'll stay. And I also have some little rhinestone flowers, and I used this in a project last year at Christmas, and that would also look cute as a center. Sometimes the rhinestones will come and they've fallen off the snowflake, but they're always in the bag, so I just glue them back on. And even if you didn't want these rhinestones, you could just take them off very easily and hot glue your own rhinestones that you do want on here. So it's totally up to you. You can do a lot with these. And I also have some little shabby chic looking flowers here that you could use as a center. And of course you have to go around and cut off all the little netting type pieces just to clean it up. Just go all the way around and do that. And you'll have to do that with a snowflake too, and I'll show you that part coming up, just to kind of clean it up. And you can put this in the center. If you wanted to, you could take off the rose part and place something like this in the center, and you'd have the pearls. So there's all kinds of things that you can do. And I will give you the links to my two favorite eBay sellers that I purchase lace and trim off of. And you're really going to love them when you check them out. Their stores, they're so inexpensive. Now, So Just Do It seems to be a little quicker than Zim 2014. He generally takes anywhere from 7 to 8 weeks to deliver, but I will tell you that everything I've received from him I've been very happy with. So I will put those links on my blog at happybirdsglitternest.blogspot.com. I'm sorry, but I can't put them here on my YouTube channel because of YouTube's policies, but I will put those links on my blog. You just click on the project on my blog, and when it opens up, the links will be right there for you. So with that said, we'll move on to the next part. Okay, so as you can see, this has a lot of fine little netting type stuff right here. And I'm just going to take my detail scissors and snip that off. And I'm going to just take my time and do this all the way around the flower. It's not difficult. It just takes a little bit of time, and you can do this while you're relaxing, watching TV, or listening to music. And I'm just cutting off as much as I can. And I'm just going to do that all the way around. Just as much as I can. Clean it up a little. So I won't make you sit here and watch me do all this, but I will do a little bit of this on camera, and then I'll do the rest off camera. Okay. Okay, so now I'm going to continue this all the way around off camera, and we'll be back. Okay, so as you can see, I cleaned up the edges, and I cut the pearl off with my wire cutters, and this little metal piece is what was holding everything together. Looks like a little tack, okay? So, of course, this was apart, so what I did was I took out the little tack, and then I just hot glued this piece right here in the middle. Okay, I didn't hot glue this down. I'm going to leave these up, okay? But I did hot glue the middle. Alright, so the next thing you're going to need is a cheap snowflake. And this is the type of snowflake you can buy, generally 10 or 12 to a package. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of hot glue here in the middle. And I'm going to center this right about here, where you can see the little ends poking out. Okay? Just like that. Alright. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of these little flowers, and I cleaned up the edges just like I did the snowflake. So I'm going to take this little ribbon rose off, and I think I'm going to place that right about here. Okay? Just like so. And you can make some really beautiful snowflakes just by simply layering this trim. And if you already have some pretty little trims like this, just experiment with them and see what looks good, and then tack it all down with hot glue. I mean, it's as simple as that. Now, I did a tutorial on how to make bling out of rhinestones and card paper. You can put that in the middle, and I'll link this, how to make these, at the end of this video, so you can just click on the thumbnail. Or you could put this in the center. That would also look pretty. Now when you go to glue any type of metal pieces, I would use E6000 with just a touch of hot glue. And by the way, they do have the odorless E6000. It's called E6000 Plus, I believe, and I noticed they were selling it on Etsy of all places. Here's another one you can put in the middle, but I think I'm going to glue this on for today. I mean, how simple can you get? Really, I mean, it's basically just trimming and hot gluing. Okay, I'm going to place this right here, and I'm going to allow this to dry overnight, and then we'll be back and I'll show you what else we'll do. Okay, so everything is stuck on very well. It's not going to come off. Now I did notice that a couple of the little pearls were off center, so I just clipped them off and used hot glue to glue them back on. And they're held on, the pearls are, with these little itty bitty tiny tacks. Okay, so they cut pretty easily. Alright, so for this part, all I'm going to do is I'm just going to decorate the ends of the petals, and I'll show you how I did that. I'm going to be using some Dollar Tree pink bling and some 99-cent store pearls, and they're all adhesive back, but we're still going to use hot glue. And I'm going to use the Walmart brand 9mm stickers that come by the sheet. Now you don't have to use these exact stickers, I'm just giving you a rough idea of different types of rhinestones that I'm using to decorate this, but of course you can use your own rhinestones. So I'll go ahead and take the rhinestones out of the packages so there won't be a lot of rattling, and then I'll be back. Okay, so before we actually start gluing down the rhinestones, I'm going to take just the petals that are partially on the back part of the snowflake here, and just put the tiniest amount of glue on the edge here, just enough to kind of tack it down a little bit. You can also add it to here if you kind of know about where you want it. And it doesn't take much to make this stick. I am using the Gorilla Glue brand glue sticks. They carry them at Walmart as well as Amazon. And you see that I'm just putting the tiniest amount on. You're going to need a detail glue gun to do this part. Either that or barely squeeze your trigger if you have a regular glue gun to make as small of a stream as possible. And if you notice, I'm not putting a lot on, I'm not covering it, I'm just putting a dot here and there. Okay, and I'm only doing the longest point of the leaves. I'm not going to put anything on these pieces at all, okay, because you may need to move those around a little from time to time when you're gluing on your rhinestones, so we don't want those glued down. Okay, Alright, so now I'm going to start with the 9mm rhinestone. Oops, my glue gun holder thing snapped off. Okay, got it, I think. Alright, so I'm going to start with the 9mm one. Get this hot glue off my fingers. Okay. And I'm just going to start by putting a little dab of glue on the back and placing this towards the end of every other little leaf. Okay. I shouldn't say leaf. I should have said petal, because I think that's what it's supposed to be. See, I'm skipping this one in the middle. We're just going to go all the way around. Like so. Now for this one I had to kind of move the leaf aside a little bit, but that's fine. And the seller who sells these little flower type snowflakes, she has other large flowers too, in different patterns. I saw a couple on her site that were also 9cm. In fact, one of them I may buy. Now see, I had to move this little leaf over too. Now once you have all your rhinestones on, then you can go back if you want and put a little bit of glue under here and to kind of tack it down off to the side so it won't cover the rhinestone or whatever. But you shouldn't have any problems with that. So the next thing I'm going to be using are the pearls, and the leaves or the petals that are empty, I'm going to put one pearl at the top here. Okay, so I'm going to do that. Let me pull this off. Now these are very tiny. And I'm just going to place it there. Now if you're using rhinestones without adhesive, that's fine. Just use your little rhinestone picker tool, and then you can pick up the rhinestones and place them on here. The reason why I didn't do that today is because these have sticky back on them, so it wouldn't help me much by trying to pick these up with a rhinestone picker when the adhesive is on the back. Okay, that. I'm just going to keep going all the way around, and if you guys are bored watching this, you can fast forward. I know some of you don't like to wait for me to get to the next part, but if you do that, you may miss out on some important information too, because sometimes I remember things as I go. Okay. And I have to tell you, I know in the video, earlier in the video, I said that the one seller that I order from time to time, Zim 2014, I said he generally takes about 7 or 8 weeks for your stuff to arrive. Well, I said that, and for the first time ever, I received an order from him that day, and I couldn't believe it because it only took 25 days to get here. So I have to eat my words. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is take some of this pink right here. These are rhinestones from the Dollar Tree. And I'm just going to place one pink rhinestone directly below the little pearls that we just glued on. Okay. And I'll just do that all the way around. I really like the touch of color that these little pink rhinestones give, and I also like the touch of pink around here. I don't think I would recommend anything that is dark colored in nature to put on these snowflakes, because you're trying to simulate the best that you can frost or something that is icy, and if you start adding dark colors, it's not going to look that way. So stick with the pastel colors, the real light pastels. Pastel blues would be fine, pastel pinks, pastel purples would even look fine, but they have to be a very light purple if you're wanting it to look icy or frosty. But if you start adding colors that are like dark red or dark green, they'll look nice and they'll look festive, but it's not going to give the appearance of being a snowflake. Okay. Alright, so this is what we have. Okay, so I did move a couple of these larger rhinestones up a little higher to make it look a little more centered. So, you know, you can do that, just keep that in mind. You can peel the rhinestone off and hot glue it again if you absolutely have to. Not that it would be your first choice, but these little snowflakes are very forgiving to work with. So, alright, so I'm just going to tie a couple of little knots here. The back, this is just gold beading cord that I have had forever. Okay, and now I'm just gonna tie it off here as well. Oops. I'm going to nip it off here, but I may just go ahead and put some very clear Elmer's glue at the top here, just to kind of hold it. Not the white Elmer's glue, but the clear gel Elmer's glue. Okay, so here are our little snowflakes, and I think they turned out really nice. I think they would look beautiful on any Christmas tree. And these would make lovely little gifts to give to someone special at Christmas time. So with that said, I hope you really enjoyed this video, and God bless each and every one of you, and have a very Merry Christmas. Bye-bye.